Here we are on the road again. Here we are down on Avora again. On a dedicated server, new dedicated server this time, because the last one was having some issues. Well, that video's not even going to go up, so you don't need to know that. We got Team 2, we got Team 1 here. I wasn't paying close attention to the lobby because I was doing some other stuff since I've just been recording all day and I've been neglecting my physical needs to survive. Don't do that, by the way. It's very bad for you. We got 4 points here. Right around the middle. Oh boy, a lot of fleets. A lot of ships coming out of Team 2. Not as many, although this has 8 escorts. 6 escorts? Yeah, 6 escorts. Kinda difficult to tell the difference. Driving down the OSP team. Got up Pacello, very nice. And an Explorer. Okay, Team 2 is OSP. Combat Ocello and the Revolver. And a couple of, well, a defense tug and then a scout. My hand your bones coming in with a container fleet. We're gonna do a little better than last time. At least I think. No, I think I had a different person doing the container shenaniganry last time. So we'll see. Phoenix! Bloodhound, EWR, guns, broadsider. 2 broadsiders with 450s. Ooh, boy. And a naked tug scout. Interesting. Usually naked scouts are shuttles. And he's also putting a huntress in it instead of a Ithaca Bridgemaster. Spending a little more money on that. Terralinks and a Fighting Ocello. Point defense tug. Combat tug with some E-War. T-20s on the shuttles? Yeah. Okay. 2! Oh my. This could be either really good or really bad. Yeah, these missiles. And those are missiles. Okay, so 2 missile Axfords, which also technically have guns. Oh, this is a 250 and a beam and then missiles. Alright. 250 and missiles. Oh, I don't think this team has any frontliners. We're gonna have to go down to Quiz to find the frontliners because Quiz loves being in the fight. Yeah, he's bringing the pain, bringing the suffering, bringing the ooh, owie, owie, my bones hurt. And missiles. So he can get in there and fight like hell with these and then support with the missile range. Hardly bringing a frig blob. Guns, point defense, point defense. Point defense and a blanket. Point defense. Point defense. And point defense. Okay. This frig blob is awful. This is another gamble build, is what this is. This is a, gee, I hope my enemy's bringing literally nothing but container ships. Because he's got a ton of point defense and just 1 Mark 62 on every one of these ships, except for this 1 ship that has 62s and 61s. I mean, I guess fighting pure rocket spam this would also be good at, but this does not have enough firepower. It simply doesn't have enough firepower. Just in general, the A&S team does not have enough guns on the field. Plain and simple. These missile launchers have a place, but 2 Axford missiles. So Quiz, we're going to be relying on you to carry this team. Either that or one of these missile players to just delete the entire OSP team. And dumping 1 missile into a ship and then 3 into a rock is not how you want to start that off. So weave on those sprinters is going to mean most of those are going to miss. Just from here on out. Just keep that in your mind. Most of those sprinters are going to be missing because of the weave stage. Oh, so I recorded the game just now. Just finished recording one. And I actually left it early. Something nice about the dedicated servers is whenever a game is really awful, I can just leave early. Because the OSP completely obliterated the ANS team. Like, it wasn't even fun to watch, kind of obliterating. It was just sad. Because it was a hard build counter. The OSP brought a bunch of T-30s and 250s, and the ANS brought a bunch of frig blobs and missile ships that weren't very effective. So they got destroyed. They got completely destroyed. There wasn't even a chance of a competition. OSP gonna take 2 early caps, get a cap lead. The entire ANS fleet seems grouped up. Yeah, grouped up. ANO seems about it. They are grouped up here on the Charlie side. So, gonna have some issues with that. Missiles coming in here. Point defense doing some work, but Alamo taking a bunch of those on the chin. That's fine, though. Gun plotting center down, berthing redded out. That was just not enough damage because those were Mark II hybrids, which means they had Mark I warheads, and Mark I warheads aren't really going to do anything to an Acello nose on. This also took a few hits, which is a big problem because Mark I warheads absolutely will deal heavy damage to bulkers. What are you shooting at? Is he shooting at the chaff? Or is he just position firing? I don't know. These are eating a ton of RPF out of the frig blob. And yeah, I mean, the frig blob will do very effective against a tug or a shuttle. Because of the RPF. Obviously, it's not going to be doing anything against this Ocello. Some more missiles being track fired and weaving and ramming into rocks. Are these being fired at the lifeboat? Yep. Or they might even be fired at this, but they're still going to run into the rocks. Yeah, they're probably being fired at that. Tons of AMMs coming out. Periapsis. That's a good name for an AMM. But not really going to be necessary, since our ANS missileers are kind of their own worst enemies right now. Keep your AMMs on manual, folks. Otherwise this happens. These don't even have the gas to get over there. What? What is happening? Yeah. Oh my goodness. I have a feeling this is under point defensed, and I am correct. He really wants to be like in an open space with this thing, with the Sarissas on it. Getting behind the rock is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. Well, that assumes that these come up and go over and down and don't just slam into the rock. Amazing. Oh my. Everyone's having problems. All our missileers are having issues. OSP's firing into the rock. Well, it doesn't go into the rock. Yeah, he didn't have him turn. So they're just going to swoosh off. That's a huge volume of containers just consigned to the void. That's gonna ruin someone's day out in space somewhere eventually. 700 years from now, packing containers gonna arrive on someone's doorstep and just blow their universe apart. So, you know, apologies to whoever that's going off to. Where are these going? Please tell me they're going after one of the decoys. Aww. Nope, but they are gonna miss. Yeah, there's that weave. This has got to be like a record, at least in my casts, for missiles missed. What are these doing? Why? Why would you just fire these every which way? What is the point? I feel like I'm watching a desynced game. Right? Like, the game's interpreting the commands from the players wrong. I'm like watching an old, corrupted StarCraft replay. Professional players are building 17 command centers, and you're like, no, that's not correct. There's something wrong here. Buddy tells you it's the greatest pro match he's ever seen, and everyone's just in their base, riding their workers around in circles. I mean, on the gun front, things are going correctly. It's just the missile front that things were weird. Very weird. Gatheon TM guided rocket TM. Pretty funny. Ooh. Ooh. Sending hybrids after decoys. That is painful. That is very painful. Oh! Some of these baiting hybrids, and then actually, man, one of those almost ran into this. My advice, by the way, if you're gonna do this, is to do decoy container for clippers, because clippers actually go faster than lines. So many track firing missiles, track firing missiles, track firing missiles. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Look at it. Look at it. It just rock, rock, rock. OSP up on caps. ANS just sort of sitting here in their little corner in baby jail over here, completely cut off from the rest of the map. They're blobbed up, but it's not even like a dangerous blob, right? Because like I said earlier, there's just no meat in this fleet. So we have a bunch of hybrids that keep getting blown up too early and keep getting fired at decoys. Oh my. Both Axfords desperately trying to get something done and neither doing anything. The ship is somehow out of munitions? Oh, I think he got missile. Yeah, his magazine got blown up. Okay. This ship is mostly out of munitions. He spent all his hybrids. I don't think any of them have landed. Aside from the ones that were fired at this shuttle, and there was a tug over here, I feel like that also got wrecked. Maybe I'm just thinking of this. No? I don't know. Absolutely wild match. Bob's going to be trying to get something done, anything done, but he's going to expose himself to the crushing might of the OSP fleet. It's too much. It's too many missiles, considering the complete lack of damage that has come out here. There's a couple of hidden Ocello on the nose, damaging some compartments that aren't important. Looks like a few more have hit him at some point. There's might be guns. Kill the shuttle, a tug, and that's it. I mean, the OSP. Oh god, I did not even see the madness E-war that is going on. The OSP hasn't been performing much better on the missile front. They've dumped out a ton and have killed one frigate, which I'm pretty sure wasn't even killed by missiles. I think this was killed by gunfire. And Jordan Zhu out of here, understandable. This game's this is not a learning game. I think it's a pretty entertaining one, but this is definitely not a learning game. I don't know. Maybe it's another "don't do this at home" episode. But well, I can't even do that because the only lessons here are don't put weave on your hybrids, which I say in almost every video because everybody likes to do it for some weird reason, and don't track fire missiles, which is something else I say in almost every video because everybody likes to do it for some reason. It's you're screwing yourself. You're screwing yourself so hard. Because I mean, look at what's happened. So many munitions, millions and millions of space tax dollars worth of ordnance has just slammed into rocks, and we're gonna get even more. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. More track-fired missiles. They dodge that rock. Can't dodge this one. Yeah, I think this is just going to have to be... because it's something that comes up every video, but I've never seen this egregious of an example for why you don't track-fire your missiles. Especially on a map like Avora that has tons of little cover everywhere. It's got very small, very thin sight lines, so it's real easy to run your missiles into walls inadvertently. It's a lot easier on firing in an open area. Open area track firing is fine, and sometimes it's even better than cruise firing, as long as your opponent keeps it. Well, it's not even true. As long as your opponent keeps their same trajectory. But if they're gonna change trajectory, if you think they're gonna change trajectory at any time, use cruise to preempt that. Track firing will just auto-gen a cruise path based on their last movement at the time of starting the fire command. That's all it does. And if your opponent is smart in how they're moving, that's never going to hit, especially at range. Track firing is good for like an emergency. Oh crap, I came around a corner, I'm 2 clicks away from a guy, I have to dump missiles into him as fast as possible. That's when you track fire. But otherwise, just don't. I also wouldn't recommend firing hybrids, which are extremely expensive at tracks that haven't been confirmed as hostile. Not in the age of decoys. You really need to be conservative with these. You can't yub nub too hard. HEKP going on the side of the cell doing good damage. Good damage. Because otherwise you wind up firing, 200 points of missiles into decoys, probably more. Because hybrids are expensive. Hybrids are real expensive. And I'd say we probably had 9 Type 3s going to decoys. They might have been Type 2s, but both are very expensive. And yeah, it's just really not a good idea. It's an immense waste. Immense waste. Alright. 12 cents. This is the only track fire of the game that actually lands, because it's being fired against a ship that's basically already dead. Glonk. Alright, these were track fired. Yep. Yeah. Pretty disappointed in the performance of really all the missile players. I'm gonna... yeah. What is going on over here? Okay. Yeah, that's not really gonna do anything. It's cute, but it was a good idea. It was a good idea. Yeah, and too tight on the maneuvers with those. So I'm glad he tried to get these to go around the rocks, but all right. Okay, we're giving that one to Terralynx. Terralynx MVP of this game as the funniest man. He's trying to get these to land, but those maneuvers are just too tight for containers, man. He's fired 2 volleys and some change over here, and they're just whiffing. Oh my god. Taxpayers need something to be mad about. Okay, well, all that's been going on, some of the ANS players, specifically the Freak Blog player, has moved out and has started capping points. Ah, that was what was it, like a 5-6 minute rant on track firing missiles? Don't do this either. Don't do this. Don't play Yub Nub and then dump a bunch of missiles, whiff all your missiles, and then just abandon. This ship could cap. It could go to Charlie. It could maintain Dagger. It could go to Bravo. It could go anywhere. It could just fly around and get in the way of all the bullets that the ANS team is sending your way. Don't abandon. Don't abandon. It's so basic. My Hands Your Bones is like an upper level silver player. He's been playing for so long. But still, just this very, very amateurish play coming out of him. I don't understand. He should know better than that. Both the track firing and the just piecing out when all the yubs have been nubbed. When all the nubs have been yubbed. When all the missiles have been fired and the container ship is empty. Hey, guess what? I think these were track fired at this. And I think they're actually going to hit. Because it's parked right now and it's not dodging. It fired the chaff. Dodge. You gotta dodge. I mean, if he gets the Charlie cap, it's not gonna matter. Nope. We've screwed him. So, I continue to be correct. The only track fire that has landed, that I've seen anyways, has been on an already dead ship. One of Quiz's beam ships over here. So one land from my from a missile. I guess I owe someone 12 cents. Whoever the first viewer is of this video, 12 cents, which will of course be me, because I get to watch these before they even come out. This got cooked by a reactor explosion at some point, which I missed because I was too busy being a preaching jackass. And it's now dead. This game. It's been wiggity whack. Pretty disappointed in the missile players I've seen this match. Yeah, this has been over here, just sort of being a menace and ducking in and out of cover and shooting shots. And now the team is getting here. Internet Explorer. Ugh. It's hard to remember how to spell that sometimes. It's really just a huh. Sounds like a man retching if you do it properly. I hope you had fun, dear viewer. I really hope you did. I had an awful time. I'm over here, like, stressing out about people wasting missiles in a video game because it's so egregious and, it makes me kind of crazy. This guy has probably done something, I hope. I mean, the gun bulkers have presumably done more work this game than anything else, because I know the missiles have been not doing anything. And presumably something had to kill all these. Of course, Internet Explorer and his revolver monstrosity could be doing that as well. Yeah, the Reigns Frig Blob. They relied on abusing Raider drives. And now that Raiders and Whiplashes have been fixed, brought more in line with their original vision. The Frig Blob just doesn't work, Chief. The Rains are too brittle. Rains are too brittle, and they can't get enough firepower either. They're really good support ships. They're extremely good support ships. But building an entire fleet around just Rains, you just can't get enough power down the field, and they die really easily. Especially against the OSP, who tends to have lighter munitions because they have smaller ships. You also might run into someone who's bringing T-30s and plasma, and if those T-30s don't have to wait for the plasma to deal damage, to debuff the ship so the T-30s can deal damage, then they can sort of just delete you out of existence. That's what happened in the last video that I didn't upload, so it's not what happened in the last video. In the last game I recorded, but did not upload, as a bunch of T-30s just annihilated Frig Blobs. It was like, oh, well, you just sort of got build countered there. Not often you see that in Nebulous. Drive's still on this one, but hey, is dead, Chief. Ugh. You know, I need to edit out everything that I did in this video, all the casting I did, and replace it with me just screaming incoherently. Just the whole video. I think that would be okay. Going heavy on PD is a gamble. You're just gambling that your opponent's going to bring missiles. There's no guarantee of that. A little PD is being safe, right? But tons of PD, just like, gee, I hope I can just stop all these missiles from dealing damage. Yeah. I don't think hardly any of these got actually hard killed. I think basically all of them just slammed into walls. Oh. It's just sad. Making the exact same mistake over and over and over and over and over again. Like, really? Not even trying to improve. Yeah, Internet Explorer, the revolver, dealing an immense amount of damage. I wasn't even paying attention to that ship because I was busy yelling at the contender player and the missile experts, who also did basically nothing compared to what they could have done. This is not enough missiles, by the way. If you're doing this sort of build, that is not enough missiles. This is enough, but you really need to be more intelligent with how you use them. The Frig Blob, again, it's all point defense. That is a gamble. If you don't stop enough missiles, then you don't get enough efficacy out of these ships to make that worth. And then poor Quiz just got blown to smitheroonies by the I don't know, by everything, presumably. By the Acello and the revolver and one of these line ships with the 450s. Or maybe both the line ships with the 450s. We also got cooked by an explosion. Turn the music off. So yeah, there's that game. I hope you enjoyed. This is probably going to be going up as another Office of Strategic Studies educational video with an explicit focus on missiles. So don't do what those people do. Also, don't shit on people for doing that. Just, like, guide them in-game. It's a little different since they don't have to listen to that. Listen to all the rage while I'm casting. But yeah, if you see someone track firing missiles, don't be like, ah, you suck. Don't track fire your missiles, you dummy. Like I'm doing in cast. Just be like, hey, track firing is bad because it often causes your missile plotter to overcorrect for the opponent's velocity and will not take into consideration the explosion, the nearby rocks. So be very, very careful when using them, and only use them in large open spaces. What the hell is this mod? Okay. And that's the end of it. That's the end of that conversation. That's all you need. I'm gonna need to. Oh dang. Well, this is a new map I'm probably gonna need to grab. Anyways, video over. I'll see you in the battle space.